Well, my afternoon talk is titled The Creative Memories Mission, a Technology Center Perspective. And yes, here is the Technology Center standing in front of the Creative Memories headquarters, and that is the mission engraved in granite in front of the headquarters. Creative Memories takes its mission of photo safety very seriously. But those of you who I've had a chance to talk to know I like to start all my talks by showing a few pictures of my two sons. This is Ed, who's now 1 year old, and Noah, who's 3 year old. They get along famously, except when my wife tries to kiss the 1 year old. Apparently, the 3 year old doesn't take too kindly to it. Well, let's talk a little bit about the scrapbook industry. Currently, in the United States, 1 in 4 households are engaged in completing scrapbook photo albums. The US sales have quadrupled over the past 5 years. While sales in the United Kingdom are not at those levels, they are in fact significant and growing. There are 5 magazines devoted to the scrapbook industry in the United Kingdom. The industry itself is diverse. Scrapbook supplies are available in many locations. They're available through specialty stores, which focus on scrapbooks. They're available through retail outlets. They're available online in mail order. And of course, I think everybody here knows scrapbook supplies are available through direct sales. In order to understand the opportunity, we need to understand how to differentiate ourselves from the others in the industry. Growth within the industry creates an opportunity, but unless we understand our position in the marketplace and the unique benefits that Creative Memories brings to the scrapbook industry, we cannot effectively represent ourselves. Photo safety is important. Photo-safe albums are high quality. They will not harm your albums. In the past, magnetic albums and acidic pages have damaged countless photos. Photo-safe materials, on the other hand, are long-lasting. Photo-safe albums ensure that your memory will be preserved for generations. The statement I like to make is, you spend enough time completing your albums, how can you not possibly use the best materials? I've seen people spend hours completing an album page and then argue about 50 cents over a sheet of paper or $1 over the cost of an album. Not a lot of money given the time and the importance of your memories. So keep this in mind when a customer approaches you and asks, well, why is it so expensive? Or why should I use Creative Memories? You spend enough time completing your albums, how can you possibly not use the best materials? Currently, the scrapbook industry is unregulated. When you purchase products, you really don't know what you're getting. Terms like archival and acid-free and photo-safe are used and abused throughout the industry. Understanding some of the confusing product claims really does require a PhD. In fact, when we look at products that are available, we can't tell if they're photo-safe without actually testing the products. So how can you or your customers possibly know? Well, with Creative Memories, you have assurances that our products are photo-safe. We test according to specific standards that are available from the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO. We follow this photo safety guideline specifically. And in fact, we participate on the ISO committee responsible for drafting these standards. It gives us insight into how these standards are developed and how we can apply them to the products that we offer. The ISO 18902 requirements are relatively complete. They include various products that are used in albums or for preserving photographs. Everything from paper, adhesives, plastic, even the metal stitch must comply with photo safety requirements. The photo safety requirements include many factors that can potentially harm photographs. They include everything from acid levels, they require the photographic activity test. I'll explain more about that in a second. But they also require certain materials. They require that the materials be long-lasting and photo-safe. We've used the ISO 18902 as our standard for photo safety. And in fact, starting this year, we're implementing a new initiative which is labeling all our packages with ISO 18902 compliance. Now, these packages haven't yet reached the United Kingdom, but you will be seeing them throughout this year. And we will be integrating this packaging into our previous products as new packages are printed. It allows us to stay one step ahead of the industry and to label our products with exactly what requirements we're complying with. I'll explain a little bit more about those requirements in a bit. An example of how we apply these requirements is our photo-safe paper. This formerly was labeled as our P-Series paper. Now we call it our photo-safe ISO 18902 paper. A little bit longer, but it's more complete. It provides a better understanding. And some of your customers, particularly those who are working in technical areas, will really appreciate what the ISO brings to our product offering. It means that these products are acid-free, buffered, lignin-free, bleed-resistant, fade-resistant, and that they pass the photographic activity test. It means that they comply with all requirements that have been established by an international body for photo safety. It takes us one step ahead of the competition. And it provides specific guidelines. See, without these guidelines, companies can put whatever labels they want on their products, and it's very hard to enforce the labeling requirements or to distinguish your products from others on the marketplace. Really, the only way to know about product quality is through testing. And in fact, the Technology Center spends approximately £500,000 testing products each year. No other company in the industry can make that claim. I'll repeat that because I think it's important. No other company in the industry spends the amount of money or resources that Creative Memories invests in testing its products to ensure photo safety. We also take advantage of other laboratories to test our products where necessary. We use the Image Permanence Institute to run the photographic activity test that I mentioned earlier. What the photographic activity test is basically the Image Permanence Institute takes the material that we submit, places it in contact with a piece of photographic film, and identifies, does it react or is it safe? It's an empirical test that they're very skilled at carrying out, and we're comfortable using them, relying on them to perform this test for us. It establishes that our products will not react with photographs over the long term. Really, without these tests, we don't know how products will perform, because by the time photographs have reacted with a page or a piece of paper, it's too late. And you have to wait 20 years or so. We prefer to run tests that can give us answers in a quicker time. Our tests are relatively complete. Here's an example that we prepared for the Picfolio album testing. This was the Time for Triumph product that we introduced. It was a new album platform for us and allowed us to apply our testing methods to a new album design. For those of you who don't know, this album contained the pages as an integral part of the album. Consequently, we needed to ensure that those pages were going to be permanent and long-lasting and that they weren't going to harm the photographs. We did a lot of tests, everything from color stability, to measuring the strengths of the seams, to measuring the photo safety through the photographic activity test. I think this chart will give you a good idea of the amount of work and effort that's involved with introducing a new album. And only a company that has a real commitment to the quality of its products will perform this level of testing prior to product introduction. The technical information that we provide is generally made available through the website. We provide the necessary information and tools to support your business. The Creative Memories Dictionary is available online. The reason I like to talk about the dictionary is because it is our way of providing definitions to some of the words that you see throughout the industry. Archival, an ambiguous term used to describe everything from backup copies of computer disk files to documents that will remain accessible for an indefinite time in the future. It is no longer used in international standards for imaging materials or at Creative Memories. Basically, what we're saying is the term archival has become so abused and so meaningless within the industry that we don't use it. Other companies will simply put the label archival on their products because they think it will sell more product. They, in fact, don't even need to change the formulation because the product is, it may or may not meet any standards, but the definition is so unclear that it fits. Our solution is to simply avoid this word, and we encourage you to avoid it as well. We don't recommend using archival in your classes or talking with customers. If a customer asks, is it archival? We'll give them an explanation. Explain that it may be, but you really don't understand what archival means. And we choose to use more precise descriptions to highlight the quality of our products. Acid-free is another term that's relatively confusing. I compare it to taking gummy bears and calling them fat-free because they only contain sugar. Yes, it may or might not be a true statement, but it's really relatively meaningless. The same thing happens with acid-free. Basically, all products are going to contain some level of acid. So no product is truly acid-free, so what does it mean? Well, in this case, we've taken a little different tactic, and we've given the term acid-free a specific definition. That is, we felt we could define it so that we could test our products to be acid-free. The definition we've given acid-free is paper material with a pH of 7.0 to 9.5 when tested using cold extraction, or adhesive material with a pH of 7 to 9.5 when tested using a surface probe. Now, it's really not important that you memorize this definition or even understand exactly what it means. The important thing to remember is that Creative Memories does indeed have a definition. And when you see these terms on other products, ask yourself, well, what is the definition? How is this product being tested to meet these definitions? And what is the integrity of the company standing behind the product? You know about Creative Memories. You don't know about other products that may be available in the marketplace. And that's really all you can tell a customer. If a customer is intent on buying products at the lowest price, well, they're probably going to get what they pay for. The final term I'd like to talk about is photo-safe. This term is important because we use it to specifically refer back to the ISO definition. Photo-safe are materials that comply with ISO 18902-2001 and will not accelerate the natural aging of photographs. It's a relatively simple definition, but it's pretty complete. That is, by referring back to the ISO standard, which lists many, many requirements, we can in fact very concisely and precisely define photo-safe. Now, other people in the industry, other companies, also use the term. Unfortunately, they don't define it, which creates this problem of meaningless definitions. I encourage you to understand that when Creative Memories puts a term on its packaging, we will define what that term means. We will update our dictionary, which is available online, with those definitions so that you always have information on exactly what our product claims mean and can convey that information either to prospective consultants or to customers or to others who might be interested in how Creative Memories differentiates its products from others in the marketplace. We also make information on the Technology Center and our testing available in the product catalog. The information highlights what we do. It gives customers confidence in the products that they're purchasing. I encourage you, share this information with your customers. Highlight it, let them feel confident that their memories will be safe for generations. The consultant guide. We rely on the integrity of our products and the integrity of our company through our consultant guide and in our approach to prospective consultants. First class, photo-safe products. I think that heading summarizes it all up. Scraps. In the United States, we make available a monthly column on photo safety and technical issues. We encourage local markets around the world to adapt this column and include it in their publications as they see fit. Here are several of our columns which have been adapted for the UK scraps. Take advantage of this information. Share it with your customers. We're even all right if you distribute it to your customers, although we ask that you not edit it. When we put out this information, we're very careful on how we word things. We're very precise to ensure that our information is accurate. And it's true. Sometimes a month with our scientists can feel like a year. I don't know if you saw this ad or this that appeared in the UK Scraps, I think it was last year. Basically, it highlights the accelerated aging that we do. We test our products to ensure that they will be long-lasting. We're making available a virtual tour of the Technology Center. This tour was developed in the United States in conjunction with our showcase there. We found that consultants no longer had an opportunity to visit the Technology Center, and so we provide an online way of seeing it. An address is here, but I also believe that a link is going to appear on the UK site this month. Those of you who were here yesterday saw a more detailed tour. I'm going to just show a few slides to highlight what the tour entails. For the complete tour, feel free to log on